Let's get started. Well, good night, everyone, and welcome to another DTools Cloud After Dark webinar. Thank you guys for being DTools customers, tuning in and giving us so much helpful feedback. As we all know, data is king and the backbone of our platform. So tonight's topic is data and supplier pricing. And as always, I'm going to breeze through a PowerPoint of our agenda before we dive in. All right, we always have a mixed audience, so if you're a new user, welcome to the DTools Cloud team. Andre, Megan, and I are just a fraction of your team. I'm Leanne, or LB for short, and I'm a customer success manager here at DTools. I'll be presenting this evening. Andre is also a customer success manager, and we're here to help train you guys to become DTools Cloud experts, successfully implement the software, coach you on best practices, and pass your feedback on to our product and development team. Megan is your DTools Cloud Account Manager, and she's here to help guide you guys as you onboard and maximize your use of the software by adding training hours and services and just helping you guys to scale your business. All right, and as I'm presenting, Andre and Megan will be answering your questions via chat. All right, so we also have two super special guests with us tonight, Mr. Barry McCorkle, Director of Supplier Programs, and Mr. Dave Kern, Director of Data Solutions. Together, they onboard suppliers and manage the data that we use every day. Barry manages our DTools i3 program, which builds our relationship with your suppliers, while Dave and his fantastic team help to keep our data up to date and help us to support you guys. And they'll also be joining us during our live Q&A at the end to answer some questions and speak more to their process. Okay, and as we all know, DTools works with industry-leading AV manufacturers and distributors to help both residential and commercial system integrators. We want to give you guys a healthy head start so you have access to our entire library of products that include not only dealer-specific pricing, but specs and coverage, images, descriptions, and resources. So we'll take a look at some product details too. We'll also talk about brand price rules and best practices when creating allowances and packages. All right, and again, we do have a mixed audience, so I'm going to briefly talk about how to get connected to your suppliers. We want to provide your customers with the most up-to-date information by keeping track of when and how often your suppliers update their pricing and product lists. And then in the partner view, you can also track updates and see key metrics like pricing types to confirm that you're leveraging all of the information provided. And as always, I'll be sprinkling in my favorite tips and tricks as I present. We'll touch on our CSV import feature, my favorite way to create packages in the quote, our sublocation improvements, and lastly, we'll talk about our brand new monthly calendar view that we've all been waiting for. All right, so let's jump in. Again, Andre and Megan will be answering your questions via chat as I present, so please don't hesitate to ask, and then we'll follow up on any questions that we don't get to tonight.
So let's get into our catalog. On the home screen, we're giving you some nice metrics around the activity that's happening in your catalog, right? Your recently added pricing, recently quoted products. But to get connected to your suppliers, you're going to click on this blue Manage Pricing button in the top right-hand corner here. All right, and DTools partners directly with hundreds of brands in our i3 program, which stands for Industry, Insight, and Information, by the way, to give you guys up-to-date, detailed product information and unique supplier pricing to help you easily and more accurately manage your product catalog and speed up the sales process. All right, here's where you can see which suppliers you're connected to and which partners are available. Right, so once you select a supplier, we're going to ask that you pop in your account number. That way we can pull in your specific dealer costs. And getting connected to these suppliers and brands will help to alleviate some of the time that you guys spend managing price changes. Keep in mind that if you do purchase direct, you should connect to the brand. And if you're purchasing from a supplier, said supplier. Okay, updates on certain vendors do involve a number of factors though, like how often products and pricing changes and how often they provide that information to us. But here's where you can see those latest updates, right? You can see the latest updates in real time, and some brands and suppliers are scheduled monthly, weekly, or quarterly, and so on. And let's take a deeper dive into a supplier. Here on this card, we can see what information is provided, things like the unit of measure. For vendors that don't supply us with the specific unit of measure, the default is always each. There are some limitations that we are aware of, but we're going to continue to improve our tools and processes. That way we can be more specific about the information provided. And again, you can see whether we have real-time pricing or not, pricing tiers, whether we provide the MSRP. And MSRP pricing is available from partners that have published MSRP pricing. And not all brands offer the MSRP, but that's okay because we can create brand price rules around that. All right, and let's get into a product. We're going to provide you with detailed information like model numbers, images, descriptions, specifications, and more product data, right? And then automatically, based on your cost and selling price, we calculate the margin for you on this product. So once you're finished quoting, you'll know how profitable you are across the entire opportunity. We can create and edit brand price rules here. So let's say you want the price to be determined by a certain percentage of the MSRP or cost for 2 gig. Here's where you can set that up. You can also set up default suppliers for certain brands. So this is where I'm going to determine where I'm purchasing these products from. And if you're already set up and plan to make some changes after this webinar, don't miss this advanced tab here. All right, that way you can apply these changes to any existing products in your catalog. All right, so let's head over to my products. All right. So everything that you've ever added to a quote or imported lives here, which brings me to our next feature, the CFB import. It's super easy to do, and we've given you a sample spreadsheet as a guide. We're just going to ask that you map your header information. So the brand names, the models, the costs, pricing, MSRP, and any additional fields. And then just import thousands of products at a time. All right, and if we don't have the brands that you're looking for, always let us know and log it in Canny, but you can always import your price sheets here. So in the bottom left-hand corner, if you hover over your icon, you can provide feedback here and give us, go ahead and log those data and pricing requests. All right, and vote on them too to move them up in priority for our team. Okay, and again, help us out, guys. Reach out to your reps for your brands that you use and help us to get your products into DTools Cloud. This way you don't have to manage it on your own. All right, we also have allowances. I like to use these items as budgetary tools or placeholders. So for example, I'm not sure what TV brand I want to start quoting yet, right? So I'm just going to add some generic ones. I've named it large TV. Here's an image, my pricing, and I just want to quickly give my customer a number, and I'll figure out the details once I'm back in the office. All right, I just really enjoy the flexibility here. You can also create calculated line items for things like miscellaneous materials. Right? So I can set my unit price with 5% of my product total. And I'm going to tack this on to my quote. Or if you're doing lighting, when creating an opportunity, don't forget to add the square footage of the building on that last screen of your opportunity details. That way you can determine the cost and price by area. All right, $16. Cool, cool. All right, and let's get into packages. Your packages live here too in your catalog. So packages are a great way to automate your sales process, right? It's a grouping of items or items and labor that you're using repeatedly instead of having to add the same items to your quote one by one, right? So I'll name my package, pop in my information, and I can start searching from the DTools library or my catalog here. But my favorite way to create a package is inside of the quote. So let's jump into one. All right, we'll jump into this opportunity, into my quote, and into design. All right, so we're in the pool house. I'm just going to add a Sony TV. All right, we'll add this one. Some wire. Sure, why not? Some wire. All right, we'll add a box of that. And let's just add some, let's add a sound bar. And this will do. All right, so now I have these three items, right? If I hold down Control on my keyboard and select my items, I can now create a new package, right? So I'm going to hit New Package, and I'll call this our Sony Standard. All right, I could put a description here if I want, and here are those items, and I'm going to hit Create. And it's just that simple, right? It's breaking it out in my AV and integrated control system, but that's okay, right? It's just going to give me that one package here. All right, I can edit my section. And if I didn't want to summarize my package, I'm going to put it in present mode now. And here are those items. All right, and again, that was Control, select your items, and then just hit New Package. Name it, and you're done. All right, and while we're here, I did also want to call out an iteration that we did to our sub-locations. So say you've already identified all of your locations, right? But I wanted to put my kitchen in my pool house. Instead of having to recreate it, I can just drag and drop this under my pool house, and now my locations have been updated. Small but mighty. All right, just another tip or trick. Cool, cool. All right. And before I wrap this presentation up, I do want to call out our new monthly schedule. If you haven't noticed, you can now see your projects and service calls for the month, right? So by clicking on these filters up here, I can choose what I want to see. I want to show my project events too. All right, we're super excited about this. And you can also drag and drop events onto different days to easily update your schedule, which I love. And that's it, folks.